Hai is back on Drama CD, the place where untold stories finally find their voice. Today, we'll delve into a story that has lived for years only as whispers, rumors, and wild speculation. A story that has shaken the Chinese entertainment industry about two big names who have always been the center of attention, Wang Yibo and Zhan. Wang Yibo's latest statement has truly shaken the entertainment world. After a long period of silence, allowing rumors to grow without clarification, that afternoon he finally stood before the media. His face was calm, but his eyes held a trace of long exhaustion. He took a deep breath before saying, "We never intended to hide anything forever, we were just waiting for the right time." That simple sentence immediately sparked an uproar. No one suspected that Yibo's long silence was not an act of avoidance, but rather a form of waiting. A wait for the time when he deemed himself mature enough to accept the truth. The reporters fell silent for a moment, as if trying to digest the meaning behind those words. The air in the room felt heavy, filled with a suffocating curiosity. Since his rise to fame, Wang Yibo has been known for his private life. He rarely spoke about his personal life, let alone his deepest feelings. But that day was different. Something had changed. It was as if he had finally let go of a burden he'd carried for years, even though the consequences might be dire. When the question about Zhan finally came up, Yibo didn't answer immediately. He looked down, his fingers intertwined. Time seemed to slow down. Then, in a low but firm voice, he explained that their relationship wasn't a flash in the pan, but a long journey filled with risks and sacrifices. He recounted how they started out as just two young actors learning to navigate the harsh world of entertainment. Their busy schedules, public pressure, and fan expectations often left them feeling alone, even though they were surrounded by so many people. From there, a mutual understanding slowly grew. But love in the world of celebrity is no simple matter. Every move is scrutinized, every smile analyzed. Yibo admitted that the decision to keep their relationship private was a form of protection, not a lie. They wanted to preserve something pure amidst the hustle and bustle of the industry. When marriage rumors began circulating, both chose to remain silent. Silence was misinterpreted as denial, and even taken as proof that it was all just a fan's imagination. Yet, behind the scenes, they were struggling to determine their future, not just as public figures, but as two ordinary people. Yibo revealed that the decision to marry was not one he took lightly. There were families to convince, careers at stake, and millions of eyes ready to judge. "We were scared," he said honestly, "scared of losing everything." Zhan's name was mentioned with tenderness. Yibo described him as someone who remained calm, even when the storm of rumors hit at its strongest. Zhan, he said, was the reason he persevered through the darkest times, when criticism and speculation felt more painful than physical exhaustion. The media became even more riveted when Yibo finally admitted that the marriage was real. It wasn't hype, not a strategy, but a life choice. He didn't specify the date or location, as if wanting to preserve what little privacy he had left. Public reaction was divided. Some were shocked, others felt betrayed, but many felt relieved. For some fans, this confession was the answer to long prayers and hopes. For others, this was a harsh reality that was difficult to accept. The Chinese entertainment industry itself seemed to have come to a standstill. This topic dominated the news, displacing other issues that usually occupied the headlines. Many began to question the line between an artist's private life and public image. Yibo concluded his statement with a simple yet profound sentence. He said that honesty always has a price, and he was ready to pay it. His face showed no regret, only a rarely seen determination. He also acknowledged that not everyone would understand or accept his choice. But for him, living a comfortable lie was far more painful than the harsh truth. The words echoed, leaving a lasting impression. Outside the building, a crowd of fans gathered, some crying, some cheering, some remaining silent. That day was a turning point, not only for Wang Yibo and Zhan, but also for the public's perception of their idols. This story was no longer just a rumor or hot gossip. It became a mirror of courage, of choosing honesty in a world that often favors illusion. A reminder that behind the glitz and glamour of the stage, there are fragile hearts and difficult decisions. But the story wasn't over. After the press conference, the impact was even more palpable. Social media exploded at an uncontrollable pace. Wang Yibo and Zhan's names trended across various platforms, discussed by millions of people with varying perspectives, from deep empathy to outright rejection. Behind the scenes, those closest to them felt just as much tension. Managers, colleagues, and longtime friends realized that this confession would change the course of both their careers. Every contract, every project, now had to be reconsidered. The entertainment world is glamorous, but it never welcomes overly honesty. Wang Yibo himself chose to temporarily disappear from the spotlight. He no longer appeared on variety shows or photo shoots. His decision sparked new speculation, but for Yibo, it was a time to breathe. For the first time, he wasn't hiding, but he wasn't screaming in defense either. Meanwhile, Zhan continued his schedule with the same professionalism. His face was calm, his smile unwavering, as if to show that storms don't always have to be met with panic. But those who knew him knew that beneath that calmness lay extraordinary courage. Many fans began writing open letters, expressing their feelings. Some admitted being hurt, others feeling betrayed, but many said they finally saw the human side of the idol who had always seemed perfect. Love, fear, and life choices, it turns out, knew no celebrity status. Yibo's confession also sparked a broader discussion about artists' personal freedoms. Does the public have the right to determine who an idol can love? Or is it time for the industry to learn to respect more human boundaries? These questions echoed, without definitive answers. In a brief interview leaked to the media, Yibo once said he had no regrets. For him, life was too short to continue hiding behind a role created by others. That quote became a quote shared thousands of times, as if representing a voice that had been suppressed for so long. Wang Yibo and Zhan's relationship was no longer a dark, secretive space. They stood under the bright light with all the risks that came with it. No matter how this story ends, one thing is certain: their courage has left its mark. And here we are, on Drama CD, watching a new chapter unfold. Is this the end of speculation, or the beginning of a greater storm? What is clear is that the truth has been told, and the world will never look at them the same way again. Thank you for listening to this emotional story. Stay tuned to Drama CD, because behind every silence, there is always a story waiting to be told.